I was on my first trip to Italy, and I was at the Gitananda ashram in Savona, my Italian home. And Swami Yogananda said, while you're here, Ananda, why don't you teach all these young people who are with us, who are the sannyasins in training? Now, all of them are amazing sannyasins, spreading the good word in Italy and doing amazing work. Now that Swami Yogananda, Hamsananda, and Ma Uma Shakti are not traveling much, it's these next generation people who are doing it. He said, why don't you sit down and teach these young people some yantra while you are here? We have 3 days before you travel to Rome for the festival. So let's do it. So 3 days of intensive teaching. And it was all good. Hamsananda was there and we were working out. And we found out that Hamsananda and I were in a similar cycle. Murali and I were also in similar cycles. That's how we used to remember that we were in the same year. And once you're in the same year with somebody, the months, the days are going to be similar. So we had worked out and we found out after the plans had been made, we were to meet the head of the Italian state to sign an important agreement at that time where the Hindus of Italy were going to be given minority rights and benefits by the Italian government. It was a very, very crucial meeting. We had all the minority religions, we had the Buddhist representatives, and all the minority parts of Christianity were also there and us. So we, Hamsananda and I, were traveling to Rome from Genova, and we found out we were both in a 4x4 day. And this only got worked out because we had already booked the ticket, made the appointment, and then we found this out and we are like, oh my God, why did I even start teaching them this? Because now we are all aware of it. The moment you're aware of it, it starts to have a stronger impact. But we have booked the ticket, so we went and we said, let's pay attention to things. And we went, there were some issues. In those days, I was still wearing my contact lens. And I had my contact lens fluid, which was in my luggage. There was a problem. Italian airlines and luggage are always a problem. And so we had to put what was my hand luggage in check-in luggage. And as they were unloading it in Rome, I saw these guys throw it off the plane. There was no ramp. It was being thrown off the plane onto the tarmac. All the luggage, and I'm like, something is not going to be okay. I get my luggage after waiting. The flight from Genova to Rome was, I think, 50 minutes or an hour. We waited 2.5 hours for our luggage in Rome for that luggage to come and go around. Finally get it, get to the hotel, open it, and the bottle of contact lens fluid. No, this was right when I opened it there in the airport. The contact lens fluid bottle had broken and all my clothes that I was to wear were now filled with contact lens fluid and all wet. And Hamsananda and I are going through the Rome airport trying to find contact lens fluid and we couldn't find it. Finally, we found these disposable, small, single-use ones. We got it, got to the room, and I'm like, in 2 hours, we meet the head of the state, the Prime Minister of Italy, and all my clothes are wet. Luckily, the room has, one of those hair dryers. So put up your kurta and go up and down with the hair dryer until your kurta is ready to go and meet the Prime Minister. And you know what? We had the best meeting, the most successful outcome. Everything went well. So ultimately, the whole trip was a grand success, except for my clothes getting wet by the broken contact lens fluid and the struggles that come out of that, a few minor struggles. And so on the way back, I was contemplating with Hamsananda, what is it that changed the 4x4 into what looked like an 8x8 day? Instead of a 4x4, it was like an 8x8 day, successful day. And then we realized Hamsananda and I were traveling on the same ticket. Okay, same ticket from the same ashram in Italy to Rome on the same flight for the same purpose of meeting that Prime Minister of Italy to sign that agreement. And because all of these same came together, the 4 by 4 of mine and 4 by 4 of Hamsananda combined into an 8 by 8 day, and we had the grand success. And so whenever you are interpreting yantra, start to look at this. You may have a great day and you are flying on a ticket with somebody who then messes up your whole day by their calculation. Huh? But again, what is important? You should be on the same ticket. You should be going on the same venue for the same purpose. All that same, sama, all has come together, summation. And suddenly both our cycles came together. And instead of a 4 by 4 and a 4 by 4, if Hamsananda had gone alone or I had gone alone, we may not have had such a good success. Because both of us went together, it became an 8 by 8. So whenever you are interpreting, be aware of the bigger picture of what is happening. And don't just look at the numbers and start to become a fortune teller. It's not being a fortune teller. It is definitely much bigger than that. Right? So I wanted to share that story. It is one of my favorite stories. Whenever I talk about yantra, I share that story because really, I learned a big lesson. That's 15 years ago. And it was a beautiful lesson that remember the company you keep, the sangha, also alters a lot of things. And that is why it is so important. Who do you choose to be with? And who do you choose to have with you? Because that choice can change a lot of things. For the better or for the worse. The power of choice.